desk right now to review.
Oh, wow!
An unprovoked war in Europe is now underway.
I don't know what you need 1,000 of. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way.
Well, good afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. All right. So, it is Sunday, the 27th. We got a week of news to review, so let's jump right into it. Welcome to Let's Be Rational. Let's start, as we always do, with the markets. How to make some money, shall we? All right. So, we started off some earnings this week, and as you can see, the markets have made a new all-time high. And I mean, this is kind of expected with just the current trajectory ever since April. There's really no reason for it to slow down anytime soon, but it looks like we are reaching a pullback. Should come here within the next 4 to 6 weeks. As I've been saying, just wait, stack some cash on the side. Everything that you would invest, just wait. August typically has a pullback. Now the question is how big. We might not get as big of one as we had, last year in August when there was a big news event, but we've been told that these tariffs aren't going to be pushed back. So we might even see it on the 1st of August. It might go straight into effect and you'll get your pullback. But I think we'll likely see anywhere between 5 to 10%, nothing too crazy. If we see something crazy like 15, 20, well, you're in a position to take advantage of it. So we got a lot of earnings coming up this week, so I imagine this to only go higher. We'll probably hear some news about how tariffs are affecting things currently, because they take a long time to actually take effect. So we also had a couple other things which we'll get into today. We had a trade deal, of course, as well. So with that being said, when it comes to the markets, if you're already in, of course, like I've been saying for the last few weeks, you're doing good. No need to make any changes. If you're looking to get in, just wait. Your time is coming. Do not chase. It'll cost you more money. Everybody tells you this, and sometimes you just have to learn the hard way. I was one of them, but there's a reason why people tell you not to chase. So I'm looking to re-enter the markets with a larger position size that I've just been waiting on. I think I got back in no, it wasn't May, it was April. Yeah, I got in at the end of the last week of April, so this was my entry. And as you can see, it's been pretty good since, but I haven't really done too much since then, so I'm waiting for another opportunity. I'd love to see it come back and test 600, but as of right now, I don't see it having a reason to. It'll probably be more likely it goes back to 620. We'll see. We'll see. This is all speculation. Time will tell. And right now, there's no slowing it down. Bitcoin. I told you, come on, man. On the money. I told you a range was going to form here. This is how markets move. They consolidate, then they break out. Consolidate, then they break out. And they consolidate again. And of course, so don't buy in. Just wait. You got 2 chances at 115 to get back in. This even went down to 114 and oh yeah, it broke 115. I think this will stay here for not a long time. It'll stay here for a little bit. Crypto in July and just in summer in general doesn't really make a lot of big moves. You typically start to see those happen in October, November, if history is any indicator. So I imagine nothing too crazy happens here for the time being. Yeah, I think if you're buying like myself, if you treat it like a savings account, and you just want a better return on your money that's not being utilized, then I think this is a good investment vehicle. But with that being said, entry is the most important thing ever when it comes to entering trades. So anywhere around 1,500 looks like you're going to get, 115,000 looks like you're going to get some opportunities. I don't know how many more of them we have, but clearly around 17 you get some opportunities too. Of course, the top is that 20K marker, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands. So yeah, don't do anything here for the time being. Wait, stack down here. I mean, pretty simple. Buy at the bottom of the range. We'll probably close the year, at least analysis are saying, somewhere around here. So there's plenty of room to move. The consensus seems to be between 135 and 150. So that is a 15K range. So that's a big range. But as you can see, Bitcoin jumps 5,000 at a time, if not more. So it's not unheard of. We'll have to see what happens. Crypto week is done. Just give it time. But I do expect this to just gradually go up, and you don't want it to go up fast. That's when you see the big dumps. That's when you see the problems. When you have something shoot up real quick, comes back down hard. So that's the markets. Nothing too crazy going on there. On both sides, crypto and stocks. Just wait for your opportunity. Unless you're DCA and just buy at the bottom of both of those ranges. All right. Here we go. Let's talk about our first headline. This trade deal. Actually, I want to start with this. All right. This trade deal. First of all, these trade deals are not all about the money. They're about leverage. They're about how can I get my way as a country. So as awesome as it is to see a trade deal, there's nothing really here because this is all just formally agreed. There's no contractual agreement. I have yet to see on this page or any kind of thing put out by the White House anything saying not saying anything signed by either party. This is all just being said, here's what we agreed upon, right? Energy, agriculture, manufacturing, automobiles, which we have no restrictions or no tariffs on our automobiles into the country of Japan, but nobody wants our vehicles in Japan. So, I mean, it's a win for automakers, but not really by much. The Japanese make a incredibly reliable car. They have essentially perfected that, and it's easy to work on and to access. Unlike a lot of models nowadays in American vehicles, they intentionally make it a little bit more inconvenient to do daily maintenance yourself because it allows them to capture more revenue. So companies like Toyota, that's not the same. They decided, you know what, we're going to tailor it to the consumer, and that's why they've been killing it in the auto space, especially in the affordable markets. So let's see what I have here. They said it was formally signed, but I have yet to see any kind of proof in regards to this being signed. So to me, what this looks like is another headline, and that nothing really has changed. Everything is still the same and will continue to be the same. This doesn't even look like we deviated too much from what we originally had before. So to me, this is just a headline and attention grabber, which, I mean, Trump's known for. That's his whole campaign was headlines, headlines, headlines. If you're not in the public, it's just kind of not the way he likes to do things. But yeah, a baseline 15% tariff is across the market on Japan. I'd like to see, and then they have some commitments as well. I think they said that there was 550 billion to invest in the American economy, and they didn't kind of say where that investment was going. So we'll see. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for the time being. We have a tentative trade deal. These things do take time, so let's see if we actually see this. And if we see the money come through, then I'll take it as official. But until we see a lot of pledges of money over the last 6 months, but I haven't seen any kind of headline about direct investment. So anyways, that is the US and Japan trade deal. What you need to know essentially is if these industries are going to have some kind of blueprint going forward. The automotive industry has a blueprint going forward, which means when markets know what to expect, you're going to see a little pump, a little bit of growth, and then you're going to see it kind of tailor off, because essentially they know how to position themselves as a business. So let's jump on over, shall we? What do we have next? Oh, yes. This was a good one. This was very entertaining to watch. So Trump is doing everything in his power to sway the Fed, and including making headlines and kind of walking Powell around his own building with some cameras. So he went to go see the renovations at the Fed, and what really came out of it was, they said it was 2.5 billion was their expected cost. Trump goes, no, it's going to be 3 billion, and we get this video as a response. So bear with me here for just a second. Let's switch on over.
And so we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
Y'all, look at this man's face. Look, hold up. He was waiting for this. Watch this. That. To him, this is I got you moment. Okay, I'll let it continue.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
Are you including the Martin renovation? You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
So if you can't tell what's going on here, essentially, Trump is just trying to make things look worse than what they are. And to me, this was purely to try to get a headline on the news. He doesn't know what's going on, essentially. Now, I mean, as Powell said, oh, you're including a building that's completed. This building that we're walking around, the projections are the same and are correct. He was looking for a number bigger, so he lumped in old renovations, essentially optics. He wanted this scene right here, which he got. Now, if you actually read into the scene, there's really not much here. We can tell you threw in old data so that you got your bigger number to make it look like he was incompetent and not doing his job. But I'll tell you what, Powell has been incredible at his job, given everything that had happened. COVID, the two different administrations, interest rates. as I kind of said before, we got our soft landing. Now, soft landing doesn't mean you're not going to feel the squeeze, you're not going to feel the pressure, and you're not going to see the changes. Soft landing means that we don't have, a crazy economic depression. And with that in mind, I think he did his job. Now, you do need the Fed, and I've said this time and time again, you do need the Fed to remain independent from the executive branch, aka the president here. So he handled this quite well. I'll give that to Powell, given what Trump was trying to show here for the media. But yeah, he's a media master. He got his little headline, but if you really read into it, you see what's going on here. So, anyways, that's that. Let's see. Covered. All right, so we talked about the markets. Why did it go up? Let's talk about what happened here. All right, so first and foremost, we started off earnings, and next week is really going to be more of an indicator. We have some big earnings coming up next week. Matter of fact, let me get the earnings calendar up here, and I'll show you. What I'm talking about here. All right. I should have just went to earnings whispers in the beginning. I have a great calendar. But yeah, essentially what had happened is we had earnings. Oh, that's why I didn't go to them first. It's locked because I refuse to pay for things that are already going to be posted. Let me see. There's got to be an image of it somewhere. See, there it is. Like I said, I refuse to pay for things that are already going to be posted. What week is this? This is August 14th. That is not the week that we want. We want last week. That's January. So we started off at the 21st. So let's do July 21st. Let's see what we had. Okay. This is what I'm looking to get here. Why is it so small? Okay. Sorry, I should have pulled this up beforehand. All right. Okay. So this was this week from Monday to Friday. As you can see, we got some names here. Of course, Coca-Cola, Verizon, Tesla, Google, AT&T, IBM, Intel. Let's see who else is on here. It's a big player. Capital One. They did pretty well. Essentially, we had the first round of earnings, and overall, they were pretty good. Matter of fact, Tesla, as the headline suggests, rebounded from the sell-off. Intel, I mean, it's sad that American company has gone under, but if you remember, I hinted at the fact that they weren't doing too well. Then they came out and said, hey, we can't keep up with the AI race. And as somebody that is in that space, designing CPUs, GPUs, those kind of chips, oh man, they're done. But that also opens the door for them to be acquired, and maybe they'll still be useful to some degree. But yeah, look at this. Shares drops. I mean, they're essentially done. Tesla, more hints at the robo-taxi. Right now, Tesla is one of the few that are in position to compete with Waymo. I see Waymo everywhere, as my main location is Austin. And in Austin, Waymo is just running around downtown. I believe they're doing the same thing in, I think they're trying to get into New York, but I'm sure they're in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Yeah, look, Bay Area, this is for Tesla. They're trying to compete too. And I haven't seen any of these robo taxis in Austin, but apparently there's only like 4 of them. So a bunch of meme stocks did surge this week as well. They're trying to do the same thing with GameStop, with these other ones like Kohl's, Open Door, GoPro, Krispy Kremes. These all just popped just because people were getting behind it. And then one of the things that you may have noticed as well is Sydney Sweeney with American Eagle essentially revamping their jeans. And that actually did fairly well. So, but that's too late. Don't buy into that. Anyways, earnings were across the board for the companies that are very involved into the future of the nation are doing great. So that's why you had a strong week. And let's see what else we got here. Okay. Now, let's go into a more disheartening topic. Shall we? Gotta cover it all. Here we are again talking about the Israel and Palestine war. This has been going on for way too long, and at this point it's just a slaughter. Which is ironic coming from the people that were in the Holocaust. But you can tell if you just think about this, the overall objective is just to conquer the entire region. That's really it. I mean, there's no reason why you keep persisting this unless you're just trying to wipe them off the planet. And so, in response, there have been some aid announcements and that people are going to help them out, because the new headline right now is the people that are left, that are alive, are starving. And it's bad. And so the UK has essentially said, hey, we're going to step in. We're going to help as best as we can. But what a lot of people don't kind of realize is the people of Israel got their nation to them after World War II from the United Nations. And it essentially looked like this. And to me, the common person, when you look at something like this, you're just kind of priming for what we're seeing now. This was before. This was Palestine. You know, that was kind of their region. That was their area. And this is after the UN said, okay, we're going to give Israel some space, and they're going to have their own place to call home where they can feel safe. What is this right here? When have you ever seen a country split up almost into 3 different parts, each of them? Look, what is this? This is just, to me, when I see something like this, this is just setting the stage for fighting, for bickering, for arguing. Because, I mean, look at these things. So, you could live here into the north and south, Palestine, and essentially almost to the west, but to the east you're good. And then here, north, south, east. Like, this is not a great way to divide a country. This is pathetic. I don't know how or why they came into this agreement, but just looking at this, you can tell that this was going to be problematic. Then fast forward a couple years, these were some big wars. And look at that. Like, what'd you expect? the dominant country decided, no, this isn't going to work for us. We're going to take this, until eventually you see something like this, where this is the ongoing war that we see. And if you look at this trend, they didn't have anything here. Then all of a sudden, they got approved by essentially the world, the United Nations. Hey, this is going to be your spot to call home post-war. Okay, cool. You gave them a place. But then nobody stopped them when they took more land. To me, just thinking about this and looking about this and just being rational about this, is this not what Hitler did to you, essentially? I'm just going to start taking other people's land, start creeping around. Now, they prosecuted you, but for Europe, like, why would you? It doesn't make sense to divide it up like this, because this is just the natural progression. It's let's just take it all. Why do we have to split it up this way? Not easily defined borders, bickering. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, now you have this situation. I'm pretty sure all of this is gone. This is 2012. Or 2012. This is 2012. And this is where the little war is. And if you look at this history, you know what this looks like to me? No, we don't want you here anymore. This is going to be us. And I do not think this war will stop until they are eradicated. That's just my opinion. And I say that based on the history of facts and the history of violence. And it doesn't look like it's going to go unchecked. And if nobody's going to stop you, then why not? And I think we're just going to see this all become Israel. And then you have to ask yourself the question, do they do anything next? Because to me, after all this, we are still surrounded by hostile nations. Once they're out of your country, where do you go next? What do you do next? And if anybody knows a little bit about the history of Mossad, they have a fantastic intelligence service, and it pretty much became so dominant during the Cold War. And they were able to feed very great intel to the United States, and that's how we essentially became best friends. Is our intel services loved the intel they provided them, and in return, we gave them some intel and some protection. But Israel knew that, hey, if we have the winners of the last World War on our side, we're unstoppable with the kind of intelligence that they have. So do some research on this, and you'll kind of see what I mean and why I believe what I believe. But at the end of the day, man, this is just terrible. And I think they agreed not to attack people while they gave them aid, and they went ahead and attacked people, which would further indicate, which would further indicate that they have no intentions of leaving anybody alive, and their goal is to erase them. And if the world doesn't do anything, it looks like they're going to get their way. Yep. I don't even know what else to say to this. You think we could do better as a species, as humanity, right? Like, yeah, I'm just disappointed in humanity. And I hope the people watching this and listen to this is just think. I mean, let's be rational. That's the whole reason behind it. Okay. Sometimes, no, a compromise is when neither side gets what they want to the fullest extent and they have to make some kind of concession. But that is what is going to essentially allow both parties to coexist. We don't have that. Right now we have a full-on invasion assault. And whether who you side with or not, what you believe in or not, at the end of the day, war is brutal, destructive, gory, bloody, terrible. I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures and the photos, and at the end of the day, people who have no involvement or no direct involvement get hurt for the fact that they are born in the wrong spot, associated with it. Maybe their families are or whatnot. It's just, as a species, you would think we could do better, but apparently we can't. So I would love to see this get resolved. I don't think it will, unfortunately, if I'm thinking about this rationally. I think with the way that the world is viewing it as a whole, and with the unchecked aggression from Israel and Palestine's inability to compete, they will be wiped off the face of the earth, and it will essentially be all of Israel's territory. And then after that, you might have a year or two before Israel goes, we're surrounded by hostile nations. We need to make sure we're safe. So, yeah, I don't think there will be a Gaza within the next 10 years at this rate. I don't even think it'll take 10 years, to be honest, but I wish I could do some. Trump said he was going to stop this. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it at all. So, unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. That's it. And this is why you allow a nation to have firearms. Because if things ever get bad, the people have to become the army. So, yeah, I'm going to move off this topic. Stop milking this cow. Let's get into a little bit of another sad one. Some legends have passed on. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. There was recently a clip of him. Man, I want to say this was within like 4 weeks. He's sitting in his chair doing his last performance and just said he couldn't do it anymore. Unfortunately, kind of hinting at his decline in health. And I mean, he lived an incredible life, 76 for everything that he did. Heavy metal, if you don't know Black Sabbath, some classic songs, look it up. But he has passed, and ironically after that, we said goodbye to Hulk Hogan, dead also in his 70s. So if you know WWE, wrestling, is a legend in the space, and died of cardiac arrest. I'm sorry, guys. This is a heavy ending. But that's the reality of the world that we live in. And I'm not here to fake anything. I'm not here to tell you any lies. I'm here to give you the truth and the reality of the situation. That is why I created this channel. I spend, for my job, I have a lot of time to myself getting from one location to the next. And with that, I listen and take in a lot of information, and I think about it. And I think, why would they do this? What's their objectives? What are they considering? Who's going to be impacted? The questions that we answer here on this podcast, this live stream, and coming up soon, we'll have the breakdowns. Those are taking a little bit more time than I thought, so bear with me on those, but they are coming. And we'll have the Connect the Dots series, which essentially, from beginning to end, connects those dots, those pathways, who's affected, why, what was their objective, who benefits. And that's why this exists, is just to give you the facts and let you know what to do with them in a humble, honest opinion. And hopefully you guys are enjoying that. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, not a bad episode. So, y'all be rational. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.